Well, friends, we are to discuss today about the remaining part concerning to the scope of environmental education. We are continuing our discussions on the relating to the scope of environmental education. We discuss about point number 4. That is values, attitudes and lifestyle of men. And here in this main point, particularly point number 4, there are some sub-points are there. And we in the last class discuss about the sub-point that is laws. And today we are to discuss about the sub-point of point number 4, that is resources, which is one of the main concerns of discussions of environmental education. And when we are to discuss about the specifications or the significance or importance of teaching environmental education, or explaining in detail about the concerns of environmental education, we are to discuss all the points. And here you see in point number 4, there are some sub-points about which I started to discuss, and I completed a discussion in the last class relating to the laws. With which there is the concern of environmental education. On today's point from where we are to start is resources. And friends, when we discuss means such education, means environmental education emphasizes on the systematic teaching of the following, means laws, resources, means values, attitudes and lifestyle of man, and other 3 points about which we discussed in our earlier classes. And let us start our today's discussion. And today's discussion is concerning to the resources with which environmental education has close link, and this is one of the most important sub-points of values, attitudes and lifestyle of man, that is point number 4, which is the main concern of environmental education. Environmental education imparts systematic knowledge on the various resources of natural and biotic environment. Means for understanding environmental education, we are to understand the universe as a whole. And when we try to understand about the specifications or the importance or specialities of the universe as a whole, the main part about which we are to understand so much well is resources. And various resources we find there in the natural environment or in the total environment. And here second segment, which has also special importance, is biotic environment. A biotic community, when we say, and its environment are the constituent parts of an ecological system or an ecosystem. Means environmental education is such education which helps us to understand this importance and specialities of the ecological system or an ecosystem. And the understanding has special importance for, you see, for the realization of the significance of the total surrounding or total environment. Let us see the next slide. There is close relationship between the environment and a biotic community. The relationship between a biotic community, friends, and the non-living segment of the environment helps to keep balance of the whole environment. And when the balance is lost, you see many problems appear in our lifestyle because of the problems in the ecological system. Let us see the next slide. This community uses the environment for its own progress, means the biotic community, and existence, and thus affects and modifies various components of it, means the environment. Parallel to this, the environment also affects the community and changes its position, you see, very slowly, and that's why it gets difficult for us to realize the impact of the loss of balance in the ecological system or the ecosystem. Let us see the next slide. Environmental education imparts detailed information about the land resources. You see, this is one of the part of this. Water resources, forest resources, mineral resources, energy resources, etc. of the natural environment, which have special significance for the existence of the existence of the balance of the ecological system, and for the existence of the, you see, living organisms in the total global planet or total global situation or the surrounding. Besides this, environmental education, it means environmental education discusses on the source of those and the causes of the decline of the quality of those resources, which are very much important segments of the surrounding and which bear special impact on the process of living of various living organisms or the biotic elements of the surrounding. Let us see the next slide. It also discusses, means environmental education also discusses the need of preservation of environment as well as the steps to be taken in this regard so that balance is maintained so much well for the, you see, peaceful existence of the biotic elements of the total surrounding. And the third subpoint of point number 4 is environment itself, and we are to discuss about this. Environmental education covers all the subjects related to the environment. It helps to acquire systematic knowledge about the ecosystem or the ecological system of the globe or of the surrounding. Let us see the next slide. It was Tansley, one of the specialists or one of the experts who in the year 1935 used the term first, means the ecosystem. Before Tansley, the term nature was used frequently by the ecologist or the scientist. In the words of Tansley, an ecosystem, you see how the term has come to us. And before Tansley, instead of ecosystem, the term nature was used by the specialist. And Tansley, you see, for Tansley, who used for the first time the term ecosystem or an ecological system, is the system resulting from the integration of all the living and non-living factors of the environment. So friends, if it is asked to write what you understand by the term ecosystem, then you are to write about, you see, by following the explanations of Tansley, that an ecosystem or an ecological system is the system resulting from the integration of all the living and non-living factors or elements or segments of the environment which do have special significance for the total existence of the surrounding. Let us see the next slide. Thenceforth, after Tansley, Mishra et al. Means it is Mishra. This is one of the important name which has close link concerning to the explanations of ecosystem. And with Mishra, other experts also, you see, express their views concerning to the concept of ecosystem. And for Mishra and et al. Means others defined it as an ecosystem is a functional unit where the biotic and abiotic components of the environment interplay. Means when you are to discuss concerning or discuss in detail about the concept of an ecosystem. Before instead of the term ecosystem, the term nature was used, and for the first time Tansley, you see, during 1935 used the term ecosystem, and thenceforth Mishra and other researchers used the term ecosystem, and they explained the concept of ecosystem as an ecosystem is a functional unit where the biotic and abiotic components of the environment interplay. Environmental education discusses about the natural or biophysical and man-made environments in detail, which do have special significance for understanding in totality, for developing holistic concept relating to the concept of environment, relating to the concept of ecosystem, and for understanding the total balance of the total surrounding for the survival of all the living beings and all the living animals and things of the surrounding. Let us see the next slide. Besides, it includes, means an ecosystem includes all the activities which are destructive to environment and bear negative impact on human behavior, sentiments, taste, etc. It also discusses in detail about the various problems occur due to pollution and ways of their remedies for peaceful existence or for for the maintenance of balance of the ecosystem or surrounding for good or peaceful life or living in the surrounding. Let us see the next slide. It means environmental education makes all aware about the danger of man's misusing of the biophysical resources of the world for their own sake. Environmental education gives knowledge about the importance of leading life by keeping a balance between the earth and mankind as a whole. This education takes initiative in developing the intention of evaluating the nature with a liberal attitude so that a holistic concept is formed in the brain of human learner, and human learners become very much become fit, or human learners can very easily understand the significance of the total ecosystem or the ecological system for peaceful existence of the environment, for the sake of peaceful existence, for the sake of peaceful survival of mankind and other living beings and things in the total surrounding. So friends, we have discussed about some of the sub-points relating to the main point of number 4, concerning to the scope of environmental education, and there are some other sub-points we have discussed up to sub-point number 3, and the other sub-points are to be well discussed for so that you can very easily realize the significance of environmental education, and so that you can have various concepts concerning to different terms just like nature, ecosystem, and you can have the chance to understand the environment in totality, and the importance of understanding it for peaceful existence or survival in the total surrounding. Thank you so much for today. The other sub points will be discussed in the coming classes. Thank you so much.